Coming up on Kochie's Business Builders, from kitchen bench to national retailer, we meet a homegrown Aussie success story. The design trends that will make your business stand out in-store or online, plus the power of LinkedIn search to forge connections for your business. G'day and welcome to another episode of Kochie's Business Builders. Great to have you aboard, where we take a look at the issues facing small business owners and come up with practical advice and tips to help them succeed. Now, to kick things off, joining me today as co-host is branding and design expert Debbie O'Connor. Debbie is a design and branding expert with over 20 years experience. She's a Sydney Design Award winner, a Stevie Award winner, a Businesswoman of the Year winner, and if you want to build a brand, define your position, or create the ultimate customer experience, Debbie has some fantastic advice. Debbie, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Kochie. It's so good to be here.
Appreciate your time. Now, business owners, they make the mistake of thinking, I've got a great logo, done and dusted, that is my branding. Is that the biggest mistake?
It certainly is the biggest myth. And I think that most business owners believe that if they get a logo and they slap it on everything, that is then their branding done and dusted. But that's not the case. I always like to say that apples don't sell computers. The Apple logo simply tells you where to buy the product and who owns the product. But it's the brand behind Apple that makes people actually buy.
You're talking about the brand personality of the organisation. How do I, as a business owner, go through that process of discovering what my brand personality is?
So the brand personality, I feel, is one of the fundamental parts of being able to build a brand. It's basically the foundations of your brand. And we like to use the Carl Jung's 12 archetype system. So if I were to say to you, a friendly girl next door, a powerful business leader, or a wise old woman, I bet you've conjured up in your mind not only what they might look like, but also their personality traits. And I'll bet you $1 million right now that that girl next door does not have short black spiky hair, covered in tattoos, walking down the street, kicking over bins and swearing at people, right? But
Yep.
if I say to you, that's the rebel, you go, oh, yes, I get that. And one of the easiest ways to figure out what the personality of your brand is you can head to our website at whiteriverdesign.com and you can play our online quiz.
Terrific advice. Now, I'm keen to hear your thoughts on our next business. It's Tiny Bear Distillery. It's an artisan distillery based on the outskirts of Melbourne, and the business has grown significantly over the past few years. But Damien is struggling to find the right fit with his team, particularly in a labour market where hospitality skills are in such high demand. So Debbie, you run your own business. How important is it to get up front with your staff right from the beginning on culture?
Culture is critical to the sustainability of any business. So understanding how you want to make your team feel is really important. So at White River Design, as an example, we have a bunch of different things that we do. So when it is somebody's birthday, we birthday bomb their desk. We put confetti everywhere, balloons, streamers. We then buy cake and we all chip in for a present, because we want people to feel like they're valued, they're seen and they're appreciated, and we want to celebrate them. Doing things because you want to get people to feel a particular way is important with a culture, because that then feeds through the entire business. If you have happy staff, you're going to have a flourishing business.
Some great tips there, Debbie. Look, stay tuned, because we'll catch up with Debbie again later in the show. But first, let's see what's going on with the team at Tiny Bear. A couple of weeks ago, we sent business strategist Holly Ransom to meet with Tiny Bear founder Damien Anderson and his team to see how they could solve their people and culture dilemma. Now it's time for Damien to pay a visit to Hub Australia, a business Holly thinks is getting the recipe just right.
Well, Damien, I'm really excited to introduce you to Brad Krauskopf, who's the founder and CEO of Hub Australia, this incredibly dynamic co-working space that's now at 13 sites across 5 cities, which is very, very exciting. An incredible story of starting from that single site, not unlike yourself, and facing those challenges around growing team, building culture, starting to be across multiple sites. How do you keep everyone together? So, Brad, I thought it could be useful just to start. If you can take us back to that first site to second and those early days of growing. Any lessons around how you kind of built the foundations of the team?
Yeah, look, lots. We started off in 200 metres of space. The space we're in today is about 4,000 metres of space, and that's usually how big the spaces are that we do. And, you know, we're essentially a hospitality business. That took us years to figure out, and I think that's one of the things, like, on a growth journey. It's figuring out what business am I really in. Like, yes, you sell gin, but, you know, what are you really doing? And what are those experiences, and how do you differentiate?
So thinking about your core kind of hub team, what have you learned on the journey? Are the people you're hiring now different to the people you were hiring at the start?
Certainly what you'll find is the people that you start out with are probably not the people that are there when you're a 20-person or a 50-person or a 100-person company. Our values have remained the same, but the team's completely changed, and actually it was only 4 years ago that I finally figured out that if we created a great place to work for our team, that they in turn will create a great place to work for our customers.
So, Damien, you've heard a little bit about the Hub story. You must have some questions. What would you like to ask Brad?
So when it comes to, you know, changing in regards to what's happened in the pandemic, we find that people's work weekend is changing. It's no longer just a busy Friday and a Saturday. It's a busy Tuesday, a busy Wednesday and a busy Thursday, which is eating away from your busier Friday and Saturday. So I suppose that's a challenge we need to work for. And how do we reach new hospitality businesses, because so many didn't make it through the pandemic?
There are unofficial, non-paid roles that you can bring people around. You'd be surprised how many people want to contribute to something that they respect and that they like. It's almost cliche, well, you've got to be on all your socials and all of that kind of stuff. But it is true that when you've got little amount of money, the channels that are available through socials are something that were just never there before. Like, it would have cost you millions of dollars to get the reach.
Brad, thank you for your time in today. Thank you for hosting us at this beautiful space in Church Street here as well.
Thanks very much, and great to meet you.
Oh, thank you. Nice to meet you too.
Welcome back to KBB. Now, Adobe has released its Creative Trends Report for 2023, and they called out 4 specific trends for the next 12 months. They're psychic waves, real is radical, animals and influencers, and retroactive. Adobe says the trends are a reaction to shifts in design thinking and the change priorities of consumers over recent years, and it looks like there is a big focus on wellness and authenticity and retro cool alongside future tech. So what does this mean for business owners? Debbie, how much attention should small business owners sort of pay to design trends coming up?
I think that when it comes to your branding and marketing, you have to look at what is relevant to your brand. Now, the biggest one there, I would say, is authenticity. That is definitely something that you need to pay attention to. Psychic waves? Not so much. Do cat memes enhance your brand? I'm not so sure. So you need to pick and choose, because the reality is that trends change, and you don't want to base your entire brand off a trend that in a couple of years' time is going to look so 2023.
So apart from Adobe's sort of report on what the trends are, what are you seeing out there? What are the most important trends?
I think that there are a couple. Whether they are trends or a bit of a shift in focus, I'm not entirely sure yet. The first one is that authenticity piece, because so many businesses are needing to bring more personality. So what is then moving into the space is the personal brand element, where businesses are highlighting their internal talent. So whether it's an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, this is what they're really trying to push, to bring that human element forward. The other one is content is king, and creative content is even stronger, because creative content is what people will like, comment on, and share. So that is what you want to be able to get out into the marketplace.
Okay. Really interesting thoughts to think about there. Thank you, Debbie. Stay tuned as technology expert Tracy Sheen reveals how you can use LinkedIn search to make networking a snap.
G'day folks, Tracy Sheen, the Digital Guide, back with another tech tip. I love LinkedIn. It is my favourite social media platform, and there's one feature on LinkedIn that I find people just aren't using. It's the search function. When you jump on your profile, you'll see a little banner at the top which acts as a search platform. Pop a name or maybe a position, hit enter, and it will come up then with another layer. Go to all filters, and then on the right-hand side, you'll be able to see, I want to connect with people who are second and third degree connections. You can narrow it down to geographies, and then hit enter again, and it will give you the list of everybody with that search term in their profile. It is a fabulous little tool to use in LinkedIn. So make sure you check it out. It's the search function. You can get a lot more facilities from it if you're paying for LinkedIn, but in the free version, you can still go search happy. So that's it from me, Tracy Sheen, the Digital Guide. I'll see you back soon with another tech tip.
Are you ready to get back to business? Well, Kochie's Business Builders has all the expert advice you need to set your business up for success in 2023. From marketing to finance to growing your business. If you've got questions, we've got answers. So head to kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au to subscribe to our newsletter and stay up to date with all the latest small business trends you need to know to succeed.
Hi, I'm Lenka Porubska and I'm the owner of More Raw Treats here in Sydney. I used to do a lot of sports when I was younger. When you're active, you're naturally reaching for healthy foods that nourish your body. So my whole life, I've been very well informed about nutrition, but I do believe in a healthy balance as well. And I'm the kind of person who likes to indulge. The market was pretty empty. There were not many choices, especially when it comes to sweet treats. So naturally, what I did, I tried to make these for myself. I was giving away to my friends and I saw their reactions and it was very, very positive. I thought about starting selling them and I did it and people jumped on board and supported me. The business started growing without me even knowing how. I was just producing something that I believed in, that I loved, and it got a lot of traction. I took the risk and I rented my own little industrial kitchen. I was working 20-hour days. I was doing everything, as you can imagine. I was in production, I was the salesperson, the delivery person, admin person, everything. For me personally, the biggest challenge was stepping out of some parts of the business and being able to have time to grow the business. When you start a business and run it yourself, you feel like you are the only person who knows how to do things and how to do them well. And when you work with other people, they bring new ideas, new techniques, and new processes, and it's just really good to work with people and not be alone in a business. Our product range consists of naked range and a dressed up range. What we call naked range is the product that we supply unwrapped to mainly our wholesale customers. These are freshly made products made of natural whole food ingredients, all gluten, sugar, dairy-free. Then we also have our packaged range. So we wrap some of our products in home compostable packaging, like our Power Cubes, and then we sell that to retail. My personal favourite is the lemon chia raw slice. It's just got this freshness of lemon and crunch of the chia seeds and almonds. It's just got this perfect balance of ingredients. So we service our customers in New South Wales ourselves, but we also have distributors across Australia. You can get our products in Victoria, Queensland, South Australia, ACT and Tasmania as well. We are working on some exciting partnership, new collaborations. We do a lot of contract manufacturing and we are ready to offer our treats to a wider market across Australia. Transparency, in my opinion, is very important. On my journey, it really helped me shape my product, shape what I stood for, shape my vision, and just communication and talking to people is really important.
Hey, it's Kate Christie from Time Stylers. I am the KBB time management expert, and my top 3 tips for productivity in business. Number 1, you need to be aware of what your high value and your low value tasks are. Your high value tasks are the tasks that are core to your role and they're revenue generating. Lower value tasks are the tasks that aren't as essential and importantly, they're cost incurring. Tip number 2, we need to actively manage interruptions. On average, we're interrupted around every 8 minutes, and each time we're interrupted, it can take us up to 23 minutes to return to the task at hand. So have periods of the time where you batch out non-interruption time. Just leave me alone, shut the door, put a sign up that says don't interrupt me, or take yourself somewhere where you can work uninterrupted. And tip number 3, work to your energy. I talk a lot about batching your time, where you are grouping like activities together in your calendar. If you batch out your day in a series of sprints, you're actually going to get way more done.
Earlier in the episode, Tiny Bear founder Damien Anderson paid a visit to Hub Australia to see what a business with great people and culture can actually achieve. Now it's time for Damien to check in with business strategist Holly Ransom to unpack future plans for his business and team.
Well, Damien, I can't believe this whole process has sort of come to an end. When we first met out at Tiny Bear, you guys had been on such a rapid growth journey over the course of the pandemic, since starting to getting to a place where you're already at 2 sites and had plenty of aspiration for where you were headed next. Last time we caught up, we connected with a few of your leaders as well. How's that process been? And I guess where did the conversation go after we left in terms of what that opened up for you?
The process has actually been really good. Like having an external set of eyes on the way we do things has, I suppose, brought in a lot of reflection. It's also opened up a lot of challenges. We do things a particular way we're doing it. Is that the right way to particularly do it?
And when you've opened up that conversation, have you been able to identify what the compelling why for Tiny Bear is, or have you landed on sort of a story that you think really attracts the right people into your organisation?
I've always known our reason for what we're doing, but I think it's given our staff a much bigger idea of, okay, that's what I'm thinking, and then they're buying into that process and that idea and that belief.
And tell me, for you, any reflections on your leadership style, anything that you're going to do differently moving forward or become perhaps more mindful of over the conversations we've had?
Quite often I'm very rushed. Sometimes when I've been doing that, I've been skipping over things that are quite important when it comes to staff and whatnot. So I suppose it's given me a chance to have a balance and look at it and go, okay, do I need to be getting all these results done in a day, or can I empower someone else to help?
So a bit around delegation and a bit around maybe where some of your focus is going, a bit more time on perhaps than immersed entirely in, to the degree that you can.
Correct. Work on the business, not in the business.
Yeah.
The more time I spend working on the business, the in the business, becomes a lot more functioning and a lot more effective.
Well, Damien, I couldn't be more thrilled that the conversation we've shared and some of the tools I've offered to you and the team have been as helpful as they have. So I look forward to checking in and following the journey, and wish you nothing but success with every step you take from here.
Oh, thank you, Holly. We really look forward to growing the team and growing our brand and seeing where it can take us from here.
Debbie, some great insights from Holly there on connecting your team to your business passion and purpose and involving them in the decision making. It's something you're very conscious of in your business, sharing your vision and checking in pretty regularly.
I think that when you bring your team on the journey with you, the job is not just a job. It becomes a purpose. There's something more for them to strive towards. And let me tell you that by asking your team what they think about certain issues or how they think you could resolve things, they can come up with some amazing answers that you might not have thought of.
Debbie, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate all your advice. It's been fantastic.
Thanks, Kochie. It's been fun.
And remember, if you're looking for small business tips or the latest news and expert advice, or to do your personality test, then you can find them online at kochiesbusinessbuilders.com.au or follow Kochie's Biz at Facebook, LinkedIn, Insta and Twitter. I'll see you next week. Next week on Kochie's Business Builders, how to get your presentations pitch perfect. Shopify tips from Australia's #1 expert, plus the business whose sweet treats are scoring a hole in one.